working. Goodness me, that was harder work than it should have been, I'm sure. Right, let me go back to here. Then I can find my live on there. I don't know why that was so difficult. What's that doing there? I don't even know. Dear me. Right, okay, so I managed to get it working, finally. I can't change the orientation, so apologies. Hello. Hi, Anne. Hi, Yolene. Hi, Angela. A lot of technical issues. This is a surprise. Yeah, I just wanted to share, have a little play in Nat's journal and thought I might as well stream it while I was doing it. So, yeah, it's been a busy week, so let's make it more busy. I like to be busy. I've got a snuggly pup in my studio with me. I'm wondering if I can I zoom that in? Oh, a little bit, yeah. That's okay. Right. Okie dokie. And I just thought, why not? Let's do it. I hope you can hear me all right. So those of you that are fans of Natalie May's scrapbooking will know that she's just released a couple of journals, and I have kept it a secret, which has been like so difficult, but I have, and they are beautiful journals. They're so nice. So yeah, so hello if you've joined. I'm going to be creating a little pockety page in this gorgeous journal from Natalie May Scrapbooking. She released yesterday, so there's two that she's released. There's a craft one and a white one, and they're both a 6-inch. Hi, can hear me, thank you. What a wonderful surprise. Oh, that's lovely. Hi Phyllis. Yeah, so it's got lovely sewn in signatures, and I've got to be honest, it's holding up really well. I'm throwing all sorts of abuse at them and cutting them out and all sorts, and they are just beautiful journals to work in. Hi Sabrina. So yeah, this, I have to be honest though, I think the white one at the moment is my favourite. I love how the colours really pop on the pages, and I think they're like 400 GSM weight. This one I kind of stuck loads of pages together to make a rainbow window. I haven't yet got my hands on the new release from Nat, so very similar, but this one isn't watercolour, this is like a smooth cardstock, and so far the spines are nice and strong. I mean, you know, the craft one from Dina was my absolute favourite, so who knows, maybe that one will become my fave, but at the minute, comments are covering my work area. Oh. That's weird. Hi Samantha. Because they're not on my laptop. That is very strange. What happens if I go full screen? I can't then see comments. That's no good. I don't know why that's happening. Oh, thank you, Phyllis. That's so kind. So I'm going to use this collage paper, which is an older one, which is an Alice in Wonderland one. It's I can't go back. I can't go back to yesterday because I was a different person then. I really like that quote. So it might just be on your phone, maybe. I had a bit of a do trying to get it to, I wanted it to stream landscape, and it said I could do it, but whenever I put it in landscape, it then wouldn't start, and oh dear me. Okay, so what I'm thinking is I'm going to do like a side pocket. I'm going to cut out a window, and the window that I cut out, I'm going to put this little collage on so it'll slip in and out. That's my thinking anyway. But I don't know. But I just thought I'm going to play, so it might be nice to just have a bit of company. As so to speak, I guess. So I think it's going to make it easier to do if I cut a bit off here. I suppose I could cut like a... I am kind of thinking as I go here, so apologies. That's really strange. I don't know why that is happening. Maybe if you try turning, it might depend which way your phone is. You're going to kind of see me thinking as I go along here. I'm going to make like a... yeah, I'm just going to cut that off there. I was going to do a tab, but actually... So this page is going to be smaller than this one, so it's easy to slot it in and out. Oh, are you, Yolene? I saw that you'd posted something yesterday. The pages are beautiful. You're doing a good job. And I'm going to come in with some colour. So I'm either going to keep this cutout bit and use that for my insert. Is her face even going to fit on there? So this is what I'm thinking. Actually, I might find another piece of card. I'm going to make like a little sliding pocket. I've ordered 2 white journals and 3 of my classes. Oh my gosh, how exciting! Did you enjoy yesterday's class, Samantha? Once you got over the stress of having to work quickly. I might mix up the substrate. So this is a piece of craft from a different journal, because I'm always cutting journals up. Yeah, I think I'll use that one. To build my background on. Loved it, can't stop looking at the page. Oh, that's so lovely to know. You should be really proud of it, because yes, it's like, it's very different doing an online class to doing one in person, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's lovely. So my thinking is that's going to be a little pocket that's going to slide in and out with that little girl's face on. I'm going to grab a piece of transparency. So I want to try and start doing a few more lives like this, just kind of impromptu ones, just to share some of the fabulous products that I use, and not necessarily to put pressure on people to buy them, but just like, you know, look, this is how I'm working with these, particularly when there are companies that are sending me things to use, and I want to make sure that I do justice to them. So at the moment I'm going to be sharing videos right through March using the Art by Marlene stuff, because it's her colour challenge. So this is my little journal for the, well, I say little, it's going to be an absolute monster by the time it's finished. So we've got lace and ballet so far. Definitely haven't done any more. Had such an enjoyable night. Oh, that's lovely. You were all lovely company. Right, so I do want there to be some colour on the back of here, and I want there to be some colour on that transparency, which I now can't see. It's there, so I'm going to do some stenciling on there as well. So are you all having a crafty, creative afternoon? Yolene, are you working on Alter Cut Create while you're watching. I quite like that spiral. I think I'm going to use that one. And I'm going to pop some paint on here, and then I'm going to set it aside so it can dry a little bit. This is a transparency from Dina Wakley. So they are lovely, but you cannot heat dry them because they don't like hot. They definitely buckle if you heat them up. There are some transparencies some transparencies which don't. Goodness me. Lots of crafting. Oh, that's the perfect weekend, isn't it? Lovely. Right, I'm going to put this underneath here because it might make it a bit easier for you to see. If I'm off camera, you're going to have to shout up because I have a tendency to kind of shift towards that way when I'm working. I'm going to put that away because I don't need that. So Isabel and a friend are in the garden preparing the patio for her new studio. That was close. Did you see that? Oh my gosh. That nearly went everywhere. It flirtled down here. Oh, goodness me. Her little cabin is coming in 2 weeks. It's Isabel's little nail tech studio. That'll be nice for her. I'll have to do something with that now, aren't I? Let's pop it on there. Not quite as clumsy. Dearie me. She is excited, yeah. So much so that she's actually been doing digging in the garden, which, like, you know, that never happens. But yeah, she'll be gutted if I said that to her about her. But yeah, they've already kind of pretty much dug out the holes. We've got to get a skip. It is very exciting. It's kind of what she needs, so that's nice. So I'm just going to go with some nice brights around here. So we will, yes. And that makes it sound like we've got a massive garden. We haven't. But you know, if you get a bit crafty with the way you use your space, it's all right. So my studio is kind of on like legs. Part of it is on a platform over the rest of the garden. And then Isabel's is going to be tucked. Absolutely, yeah. I'm not going to flick that around because I nearly covered myself in orange paint. Okay. And then I'm going to go turquoise. Oh, that, yeah, so she's a nail technician, Angela. And at the minute, her little, where she works is kind of, it's in the house. So it will be really lovely for her to have her own space. And it'll also mean that I can run classes from the space that she's currently in. So there is like double use in doing this. Right, so you can see I've got some colour on my transparency. It's a nice stencil. That one's from Natalie May, and I think it's called Spiral. That was one that she released in January. Right, let me just see if I can just get this a little bit better. Okay. Oh, a great advocate. Yeah, well, you know, got to keep my nails nice. Of course, I've got the cup of tea. Right, so I'm just going to set that aside, and then I'm going to think about putting some colour on here. So I want some colour on this page behind and the bit at the front. I might just use up some of these rainbow colours that I've got knocking about. I didn't actually know whether anyone would see that I was live, so I was like, oh, I was going to do it anyway. Right, so I'm going to use up the paint that's left. I'm going to make this bold, and then what goes in the pocket is going to be a little bit calmer, if that's possible. Yes, if there's anybody watching that lives in the Chesterfield area and you want your nails doing, you need to drop me a message and I can put you in touch with a really good nail technician. Right, so I'm just washing my brush off and drying it in between, and I am literally just using up these bits of paint that are left. On my desk. Hey, you could, what a good idea. Or you could have your nails, yes, yeah. I want to talk to you actually, Samantha. I'm going to send you a message about the class that you've booked in for in March. Because there's a couple of you booked on. And I have an idea. That has picked up a bit of red and it's gone a bit muddy, but I'm just going to go with it because I'm not going to stress. So even though this has got quite a lot going on, as you know, we can knock it back using white. We can kind of calm it right down so it's not quite as bonkers. But I think it's nice sometimes to start with quite a bold, colourful background. I'm going to use some magenta and orchid. I'm actually not using iris. Can you believe it? I have to be careful with these paints because I've chopped the nozzle off so many of them, and I'm not used to just kind of flinging them around when they don't work. Get myself covered in paint. With a little bit of magenta. So this isn't actually going to have any collage images on. I might pop a bit of collage paper on. I think I've got a bit left from the class that I taught for Nat on Friday. It's a beautiful day today. I do love that orchid. I've kind of not used all. Oh, I've picked up orange. How rude. I've not used this orchid colour. These are Dina Wakley Media paints for any of you that maybe don't know. One of my kind of favourite brands of paint. I also use Art by Marlene paints quite a bit, and Amsterdam acrylic. I like their paints too. Right, let me give that a quick dry, and I'm going to come in and do some stenciling. some collage paper. I'm going to move that out of the way so I don't stick my arm in it, which I probably will. So this is a collage paper that I designed for the class that I taught for Nat on Friday, which is February's class. Hi Leslie from South Africa. Oh my gosh, hello. Lovely of you to join, thank you. I'm just working in the new journal from Natalie Scrapbooking. It always makes me go like, oh my gosh, how easy it is to connect with people all over the world. It's incredible, isn't it? So sometimes when I add collage, I would do it first. Sometimes I kind of forget and I get so excited about getting colour on the page that then I'll think, oh, okay, I'll add some collage after. Because I'm going to add some stenciling over here anyway. So that's gel medium from Dina Wakley. Oh, thank you, Leslie. That's so lovely. Well, I really appreciate A, you watching my videos, and B, joining today. Thank you. So, I love this. It's nice and colourful, but I want to calm it down a little bit. So I'm now going to go in with white and bring some white stenciling over. Just get that mostly dry. I'm thinking that I'm going to do like a pattern. That might be quite nice, scattered numbers, because that's a mask. So everything will be white apart from where the numbers are. So let's see how that looks. And if there are places where it feels too white, I can always go in while it's wet with baby wipe and wipe some off. So I think that's something that I remember when I first started, I was really often quite scared of committing paint to my page, because that feeling of once I've done it, that's it. It's really not. Because you can so easily, if the paint's wet, you can so easily lift it off with the baby wipe. It's lovely, isn't it? It's called Scattered Numbers. Again, that's a Natalie Scrapbooking one. Yolene, I've just remembered I need to send you a message about those things that you're after. I need to write that on my list. Yeah, I quite like that. Let me lift it up so you can see. That's kind of tamed that background a little bit. Yes. And then, you know, if you want to push it back even more, you can go in and completely okay, let's give that a quick dry. It's pretty, thank you. It's nice. So what that does is, with the white on the top, it just pushes those colours a bit further into the background. I mean, obviously it's still quite bold, but it's not quite as bonkers as it was. So then, bearing in mind that we've got this piece of transparency to go in here as well, this is going to be proper colourful. So I like it. I love a bit of colour. Right then, excuse me. I am going to just add a little bit of black to these edges. Because I want it to be obvious that there's like a cutout window. Okay, and then I think I'm going to need a little bit of stamping on that on there. Right, I'm going to try and use some different stamps because I know I'm always using the same ones. I quite like those lines. Let's use those. Oh, those are nice. And you can stamp on transparency as well. So that paint is pretty much dry. I'm just thinking that I might sandwich another piece of transparency with this one, just so that if I put the paint facing out, so the paint will scratch off this if it comes in contact with a lot of things. If I put it facing this way, so the paint is facing inwards, as I'm sliding the tag in and out, it's probably going to scrape the paint off. So if I sandwich another piece of transparency together with it, then that'll protect whatever is in there. I can hear you, Lola, doing a big sigh. Are you tired? So I'm just going to add a bit of, and I've never thought of doing that before. That is just something that's popped into my head. I don't know if it'll work. It might make it a bit tight, but I'm going to give it a go. Why not? Okay, so I'm going to have to set that aside then, because archival ink takes quite a while to dry on transparency. Like I say, I can't use heat on there. Well, I mean I could, but it might go a bit wibbly wobbly. I don't really want it to. Okay. That line one might become a new favourite now. Hi Lola. Yolene, Lola says hi. No, let me try that again. Lola, Yolene says hi. Honestly, wrong way round. She's looked up. You say hi too. Shouldn't encourage you to shout, should I really? That's hilarious. It's been a long day already. My poor little brain. What did I just think about? Okay, so let's work on this bit now. So I will also need another bit of transparency the same size as that. I'll sandwich the two together, it'll then protect the painting. We'll see. I definitely think that could do with some white dots on it. You love the white dots? Yeah, me too. I love white dots. Well, yeah, I love dots, as you know. Dots are my jam. So I'm going to stick her on here, but I might not use all of her. So let me cut her out. It's got quite a big. That's a lot of hair. I don't think we need that much hair. Who needs that much hair? No. So Nat's collage papers are great for tearing with a water brush. You get a nice soft edge on them when you do it like that. A water brush or a paintbrush that you've dipped in water, it doesn't really matter. Either work really well. thinking is that I'll just use part of her on here, maybe not the whole. Too much water. Yeah, that's going to work. Now, because I'm going to be working on craft, they are, aren't they? They're lovely and they're so nice to work with. Because I'm going to be working on craft, if I stick this directly onto the craft as it is now, with the craft colour, that's okay, but it will alter the whiteness of the colour on this collage paper. So what I often do is just go in with a bit of white, perhaps just where the face is, because you know, sometimes it doesn't matter and that might be the look that you're after. But if you do this, a bit of white behind where your face goes, then you are kind of protecting the colour that's on the collage paper, so it's not going to get altered too much by the craft colour showing through. A quick dry. Now if you don't dry that well enough and then you go in with your gel medium, you will end up with white coming through, so then that can alter. So you do have to be a little bit mindful that you get that nice and dry before you go to stick your image in. I just find these images are just so lovely and they're so nice, easy to blend in to backgrounds. And Nat has just released some fantastic collage papers, which I have a feeling are on their way to me. I'm very excited to get them. Yeah. So you can see here where I've not put the white paint that the craft colour is coming through the collage paper. But where I've put it for the face, it's not affecting how that's gluing down, and there isn't the craft colour coming through. In fact, in comparison, the face looks quite stark. So I might go in a bit and give her some slightly warmer colours on her face. Yeah, I love it too. Is it Pablo's Girls or something she's called it? It's a very good release. So I'm going to dry her off. And because this has got blues, a little touch of pink, I'm going to stick with those colours on here and leave this as the crazy bonkers bit. And this one, let me just pull this over. This might be ready to, we've put some white dots on there before. Move that out of the way. I'm just conscious that this needs time to dry, and as I've often said, nothing dries fast here. Although my studio is lovely and warm today. And yes, I have cut my fan brush down. I can control it a bit better when it's smaller. Saying that, only a little bit better. That's quite nice with the white dots on. Slightly goth but not scary. Yeah. Yes, I thought that about the new release. Yeah, I think Lee would love them. Right, because they've got that kind of vibe. Okie dokie, let me put that away. Do any of you guys tidy up as you go along, or do you just work, make a mess, and then tidy up? I like to tidy as I go along, because otherwise I kind of can't think if it gets too messy. You've done the same and you love it. What, cut your fan brush down, have you? That is quite funny. Right, so I am going to grab some blues. So what I tend to do is I look at the that was water that's gone everywhere, but that's okay. I look at the colours that are in the collage paper and try and find colours that are similar that will match. So that's really funny that you cut it down as well. I do find it so much easier. I have some big fan brushes, but honestly, it just goes everywhere. If I'm not careful, it literally goes everywhere. Okay, that'll do. Right, let's try again. So I'm going to look for some blues that will go with it. So I might go peacock, maybe sapphire. And then there is like a little bit of a pink here. Maybe I could bring in magenta, because then that'll link in with what's in there. There, let's stick with those and see how that goes. Normally tidy after project finished. Your working space isn't very big. No, I think if you've only got a small area, you kind of got to keep it quite tidy. Small is better. Happy you told us you just cut it. I've been looking for a small one with no success. No, I don't think there is such a thing as a small fan brush. I don't know, I just sort of thought, this is too big and it's proper. And when I use it, it just goes everywhere. So I just chopped the end off it. Right then. So I'm going to stick with the same sort of way of applying my paint here that as I've done with my little pocket. And I've decorated the back there so that when this is sliding out, you get like, oh, that's a surprise. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to bring my colours over the top of the collage paper, and then that way it blends quite nicely. So that was peacock, this is sapphire. She's got a very intense look, hasn't she? So I am just washing and drying the excess water off my brush on a bit of cloth that I've got. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of magenta. And I don't mind if it kind of mixes a little bit. I like that sort of lilac-y colour that it makes. Yeah, I like that. And I've got space to do some writing here as well. Okay, that's so far. And then of course when you're making something like this, the back of it would be great for journaling if you wanted to. Because I'm impatient, when I'm drying like this, if there are bits where it looks like it's taking ages, I just tend to go in and smoosh it out a bit. So, because I've got quite a lot of peacock there, I think I'm going to go in and do some stenciling over the top. Let's see. painted those work quite nicely. Bring the stenciling up as well, just so that it kind of helps it flow. And then I'll pick up some of that magenta. Okay, so again, I want to knock it back, so I'm going to go in with a little bit of white, because there are little flecks of white. So what I might do is get my Posca pen. This is a great way to kind of knock back areas where, knock back and help blend in a little bit, where you think, oh, it's all getting a bit lost. It just helps for me. I like the way that that looks, and it kind of creates that sort of bit more of a flow. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is do some writing over here. Give her some catch lights in her eyes. Sometimes when I do this, it makes them look like they've taken something illegal, but we'll see. Oh, that's all right. And also, it is also quite nice sometimes if you've got like scribble sticks or Neocolor pen, water soluble pigments, you can kind of go in and add some colours into the hair yourself and just follow the marks that are already there. Okay. I'm just looking for my Jane Davenport palette pastels. I've had these a very long time. These are great for adding a little bit of colour to the cheeks, which of course you could just as easily do with actual blusher or any pastels that you've got. Right, I like how this is coming together. I think I'm going to want to add some stripes onto here as well, and I'm going to add some on here too. I'll lift this up so you can see a bit better. Okay, coming together. Right, let's see if this is it dry enough? Where is the other bit? There it is. It's nearly dry, but not quite. Some of these spots are just not drying. I'll just blot them because I'm impatient and I want it dry now. So what I'm going to do is sandwich that in there. Let me get my this is a Scrapbook Adhesives double-sided tape gun, and it's great as long as you don't go too fast. If you go too fast, sometimes it gets itself in a bit of a mess, and then you end up wasting a whole reel of double-sided tape, which is a little bit frustrating. But as long as you're nice and steady, it's actually fine. Which is the one? Right, so I want that facing out that way. Okay. And then what I'm going to do again is go over this bit here. And then I'll probably come in with my tiny attacher as well. Ah, do you know what I've done wrong there? I'll have to put that round that way. What an idiot. I'm glad I realised that before I stuck it down. There would have been no pocket. Would not have been very successful. Right, then I'm going to stick that onto there. All right, let's make that a little bit smaller. Yeah, that works. In you go. Yeah. Cool. Right. Remember, if you do this, don't put the double-sided tape down the edge there, because that will not work. I mean, you could even add extra tabs on there to pull it. Put a bit of fabric on. That's an idea. Just having a rummage in my fabric drawer. Ooh, that's quite bold. That works. So this is a little bit of fabric that I found. It's looking so cool. Thank you. I know I did do it nearly. I was like, oh, come on, Claire. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it, with working live? You get to see all the little mistakes, and that's all right. As long as you realise before it's too late, which I nearly didn't. So that should just help me pull it in and out, like that. Right, let's get some staples on here just to help this open and close a bit better. One thing I would definitely say, if you're going to use staples in your journal, is make sure you go through and push all the backs of them flat. I'll tell you for why is I cut my finger on one not long ago, just from like smoothing my hand across my page, and there was a staple there that I haven't seen. It really hurts. So it is worth just spending a little bit of time pushing those backs flat so you don't cut yourself. Right, so she should slot in there like that. I'm gonna have to make that a little bit smaller even, I think. Even smaller. Still quite like it, she's quite quirky. That's better. Right, so let's get some words on here. You know, I might write it. Shall I write it? Shall I stick that on? Don't know. That's a lot of words, isn't it? Put it on the back, could do, yes. It's not a bad idea. Yep, I'll do that. Samantha, that's clever. I'm going to go in with some white first. That was a very dry brush. Okay. Good thinking. Okay, where are you? There you are. Doesn't really want to stamp on there. That's weird. I think it's because it's wet. That's okay. We'll give that a dry and then outline it a bit. So it's not completely dry, which is why my pen is having a bit of a job writing, but that's all right. One more thing I want to do on there is a bit black. this is a set of cookie cutters. I think that finishes that off quite nicely. Maybe some black dots might work on there too. Or black splatters, just a few, not too many, and not on her face. This is that thing, isn't it, of knowing when to stop. I think we need to stop right there before that goes any more bonkers. Just giving that a good dry, so I don't smudge those black splatters. I guess you could always do some kind of scribbly journaling on there if you wanted to. I kind of don't think I want to do any more on there because that's quite busy. I am going to put a couple of staples in there. And then that would slot in like that. Lovely. Right. What did I just think? You love it. Thank you, Anne. It's just fun to have a play, isn't it, sometimes? I had this idea of doing this and I thought, why not just do it on a YouTube live? Thank you, Leslie. So we've got a little tag in a pocket. It's snug to get it in, but once it's in, it's all right. Signature heart going on. This is left over from a class the other day, I think. Perfect. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you for your company. I have enjoyed playing along while you guys were there. I'm just going to leave a little heart there in the corner. I mean, you know, there's so many possibilities of things you can do with this kind of journal page. You can write round the edge here. You could even write on top of your transparency. But I think creating that double layer of transparency is going to mean that none of that paint, because it's sandwiched in between, it's not going to get rubbed off. So there we go. That is my little play page today. So thank you so much for your company. You made it to the last half of the live. Oh, that's lovely. I'm glad you did. Thank you for joining, everybody. You need to buy cutting blades in bulk, definitely. Can't wait to get them from Australia now. Now it's usually pretty quick with posting them, so hopefully you'll get your hands on them soon. Oh, thank you, Samantha. All right, guys, thank you so much for keeping me company. And those of you that are art journal lovers, I'll see you on Wednesday. The rest of you, thank you. Bye.